All right, now it's live. Thank you, Google Hangouts. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Black Magus, and welcome back to the talk show about everything. Sorry we haven't been on, but life gets in the way, so you know how that goes. Anyway, say what's up to the people, Modem.
What's going on, y'all? Happy to be doing what? Episode 5? It's episode 5, right? Episode 5?
Yeah, I think this is 5. Yeah, I think that's what I
I'm
put
like
in
double
the
check
note.
that. Glad to
I
be
put
here for
it.
episode 5. We back.
It's fine. It's on Google. I can edit it.
Right. Okay. Episode
Say
5.
what's
We
up
out
to the
here.
people. Prodigy.
Yo, what's going on? Good to be here as always.
He just had to do like the radio, like midnight storm DJ voice.
I mean,
Say hi, like really.
it's 95.5. Greatest
I
hits.
guess.
95.5.
I guess. Okay, quiet storm DJ. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. There's 2 particular topics I want to address first, and then we can just round table the rest. First, I want to talk about the Black Ops 3 thing. So, Modem, go ahead and let the people know what's the deal with that.
Well, Treyarch or Activision, I forget which one, has said that last gen's old hardware cannot handle Black Ops 3 campaign. So there will be no campaign for last gen, that's Xbox 360 and PS3. There'll be no campaign for Black Ops 3 on those last gen consoles. But as a bonus, I get a price drop of $10. I find that hilarious.
So basically, they're saying their campaign.
Should I start off with my initial thoughts? Right.
Yeah.
That's
that's a slap in their own face right there. Like,
I'm also getting. I'm trying to figure out how does your multiplayer and zombies work in old gen when zombies is supposed to be just as extensive and detailed as the campaign. So how does your zombies mode work, multiplayer work, but your campaign doesn't on last gen? Now, even if they had to make the campaign a separate disc and include it or whatever, like they did for 360 or whatever, but 360 probably have like 3 discs, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they did it like that, why isn't campaign included? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. And then to give us such a BS price drop, like that price drop should have at least been $15 at the very least, and that's pushing it. I kind of don't understand.
All right, Pride, you.
I mean, I just kind of laughed when I saw this morning. That, like you were saying, Modem, a $10 price drop and you're not including campaign, is that where we are now? That literally multiplayer is. I mean,
zombies.
Yeah, multiplayer and zombies. We're saying that that's 90% of what we're gonna put out there, and then part of me thinks that this is another way of, and happily thinks that this is another way of them saying, all right, we've given you 2 years at this point. It's time for you to go ahead and start moving to these new consoles. Like, if you want the entire thing, it's another way to kind of start to get people to be like, we want to stop developing for these, because more and more games I think are starting to do it now that the console generation has been going on. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, it's more.
Go ahead.
If you could technically say that Activision and the direct studios involved with Call of Duty have stopped developing for last gen for a while now, because for the past few years at the besides Ghost, the past 2 Call of Duty games, including Black Ops 3 that developing right now, whatever, other studios were developing the ports for last gen. So they're kind of just cutting ties with They've already cut ties with developing directly for last gen, and just kind of like handing it off. So I'm not surprised if that's the case. Like they're like, oh, we don't want to do this anymore. I'm not surprised at that. But I'm wondering, like I said, my biggest thing is why can't campaign work on the old hardware when your zombies and multiplayer can, when zombies to be just as extensive and just as detailed as the campaign. Now, I remember reports earlier this year about how expanded Black Ops 3 campaign is and how it has its own mode, had its own Wikipedia page. Like, it's that large. So, I kind of see some truth in it, but I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Like, there has to be more to this than just it wouldn't work on the old hardware.
All right, so I'm here to tell you that it's a flat-out lie. Fucking lie that they're telling you. And I really hate the console, like these companies who like to tell these type of it's like if you can't come up with a good answer, just don't give an answer. Just say it's just something that we couldn't do at this time. That would have been the best solution to the whole thing, because the reality is it's fucked up that you can't put the campaign when you put the campaign all these years. Like Modem said, you've ported these things over with the campaign before. So what's happening now? Reality is you're going to start to see this a lot more from companies, as now both the Xbox One and the PS4 are pretty much like they've got a good user base. They have a big enough user base to where all these companies can start exiting the last generation. It took a little slower last time for some reason. I never understood why they were still making games for the original Xbox and the PS2 still until about 2011. That always confused me, but now they're starting to move faster on that. They're getting out of the whole thing, because if you notice, a lot of new games that come out now, you see PS4, Xbox One, PC, PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Right.
A lot of times they don't even go that route. I think Call of Duty is going to still try to go that route because they feel like they still have a big enough fan base, and they probably feel like, well, all of those guys probably only just want it for the multiplayer anyway. So we'll give them the multiplayer, even though there's probably a lot of people who want it for the single player as well. But that doesn't matter. This gives those people who have PS3s and Xbox 360s incentive to go and buy a PS4. And that way, that adds more to the numbers, and that gives them even more reason not to spend money on developing PS3 and Xbox 360 games. They're just trying to force your hand right now. I feel bad if you're somebody who's really into the Call of Duty campaigns, but you can't afford to get a system right now. But this is what these companies are going to start doing. They're going to start bullying people to move to the next system. And it's happening a lot faster than it used to.
I'm thinking as well, based on Activision's previous business approach with most of their games anyway, I can see them saying all of this is just pressed to when Call of Duty's coming out. You know what? We will try our best to give you all the campaign. You can buy the DLC, download only, $10 or $15. Go ahead and just pick it up from the PSN Store, Xbox Live, if you really want it. And a long time ago, I remember there was a conversation going on about companies starting to sell games piecemeal. Like, if you want the campaign, you pay X amount. You pay X amount for maybe.
Yeah, I remember they were saying that.
I really think companies want to do that, because what that means they can do is no longer does a game have to be $60. A game can be, well, yeah, the campaign is worth $30, but the multiplayer really and zombies is really worth $50 together. So we really could say that this game is worth $80. If you really want the campaign, I mean, you could just pay the extra $30, or it'll be something stupid where it's like pre-order the special edition for $70 and you get the campaign included. It'll be stuff like that. I can see that's where, especially with Activision, because Activision would do something like that. Would turn around later on and said, you know what? Here's the campaign. You're just gonna have to pay like an extra $5-10.
Yeah, I've heard that, and that is I laughed when I heard that. You could have a point. They may be trying to experiment with that. I mean, eventually, somebody's going to take that leap and try to roll that idea out there for people to use. Because I mean, people complain about how they break up Telltale games or episodic games and things like that. Um, Instead of just getting the whole story at once. I don't find that distasteful. I find that's just at the end of the day, it's smart because they give you a discount if you buy it all at once. So they know how to. I think their pricing is fine, but I think if they start doing this with these like AAA games, it's going to be a problem because I don't want to like. One of the things that worries me about the new Hitman game is that they're trying to make that kind of episodic, and I'm like, okay, this is a AAA game. It's a huge scale. What's your pricing point on that? Are we going to like get 5 parts at $20 or $30? How is this going to happen? Like, so that troubles me. I mean, stuff like that. You could already see people are starting to think of those ideas, and I don't know if I want to end up paying $100 to play all of like say Uncharted 5 because they break it up into like 4 acts or something like that.
I mean, it's. I
Well,
think.
the difference in just one second is the difference between Wolf Among Us being episodic and like a AAA title. The Wolf Among Us games aren't as long or as it doesn't have much to it besides the story. A AAA game being episodic would be like giving the game because they can cut up a story at any point, but like, okay, that's the story, and then here goes an expansion, and here goes the second expansion, and here goes the third expansion. That's like episodes, really. I mean, as far as which one would be okay, I don't see a big difference in either. Give like continuing the story with DLC. I mean,
Well, see, here's
that
where I
seems doing the
see a
same thing.
difference is that, and yeah, you could say that too. I guess everybody's going to the MMO model. What you think? Because this is where I see a difference. It's like, okay, most $60 game campaigns are going to be roughly 10 hours, right?
Right.
Now,
I
take
think
a
so.
game like The Wolf Among Us. It took about an hour, hour and a half to beat each of those pieces, right? You would say, give or take, about an hour an episode.
Yeah, yeah.
So you spent $20 for 5 hours. I don't think they're going to give you 5 hours in each piece if they're going to make, say, a 10-hour
Oh,
campaign.
I guarantee it'll be backloaded. It will. It will
Yeah, that's what
be.
I'm saying. Where's the value going to be? Because it's like you're going to split this thing up. What's the pricing going to be? How much content is actually going to be in these pieces?
I
I
guess.
mean, like a game like Skyrim, if you broke it up into 4 pieces, I think you would end up getting a better value, maybe. Because it takes so long to go through it. I don't. That's where it gets dodgy for me. It's
And
like, okay, how are you going to address this pricing wise, and what's
Well,
the
the biggest problem with
turnaround?
pricing is there's no council to be like, this is a standard. Your campaign has to be this set amount of hours to charge this much for it, and there's nothing like that. So when we got games like Skyrim, that's long as fuck for $60. We got games like fucking
Yeah.
Call of Duty, perfect
And
example. That's
don't
like 10
get me
for
wrong, if I
$60.
find something interesting enough, I'm going to pay for it regardless. Because again,
Right,
I could call
right.
myself out and say that by saying the order
order.
1886. I had no problem paying $60 for that. I'm just curious as to how they're going to address letting you know what you get, I guess is my thing. As long as I know what I'm getting, then I can make that choice. And that's the thing that's worrying me
And
about Hitman. It's like, what am I actually getting for this
because
being an episodic thing?
and I think I don't necessarily. I think that it's never. This is a chance for them to take the current business model and increase the price of games. Which, yes, games are getting bigger, games are costing more to make, but rather than you seeing a $70 price tag, if they start breaking things up into different price categories, and I mean, multiplayer is kind of still the big thing in gaming. Most people are playing multiplayer games, or the multiplayer side of games. I can see them charging more than half. It's not going to be a 30-30 split, and I don't think they're going to try and say, well, campaign is, we're only going to charge $10 for it. Because where's this option for the people on next-gen systems, the people that aren't going to play the campaign? If this was really a thing about...
Well, see, that's where it comes into. There is no option. The $10 price drop wasn't so much like, well, this is how much our campaign really costs. It's more like a, don't be mad, you ain't getting campaign, so here's $10 off.
My thing
that's damn near full price.
That makes me think that they will in some way try and get that money back. They have some plan to get that extra 10 back. Because it's not like it's an offer. It's not something across the board.
Shit, microtransactions, the multiplayer DLC, like, I know there's more to this. I'm pretty sure, like Mike is saying, it's a flat lie. But at the end of the day, like Mike says all the time, Call of Duty is still $1 billion, franchise. With this paint, well, they're not even getting paint shop for multiplayer, something like esports tool or something like that. But like with camos and DLC and all this other crap, they still gonna make their money. So the $10 price drop really isn't enough to be missing out on what they're calling one of their biggest campaigns ever. To date.
See, that's great marketing.
Here's what I would argue.
You're gonna miss out on the biggest campaign.
I'm saying
you need to get that Xbox One. You want to play this biggest campaign.
Right. Watch this. What they're gonna count on is you're getting that, because you're getting it for Call of Duty. So why not just buy them at the same time? Buy the $500 bundles that are specifically the Call of Duty bundle. I think at the end of the day, they're still looking towards, you're gonna end up, they're looking to make more money. A $10 reduction, like you're saying, Modem, isn't much, but you're not gonna make a $10 reduction without a way to make back twice as much money. And I don't think it's just gonna be the skins and the crates and all that stuff. I think they're trying some. I think this isn't like anything to do really with necessarily now. This is we might see the Call of Duties down the road start adopting a model that is going to be less and less consumer friendly.
And I hope not. I think that would be poison for the franchise, though. I mean, then again, it might not, because again, going back to my whole, if I really care about something, I'm gonna get it. I don't know. It probably sounds worse than it probably end up being. I think we just need to see it kind of go and see how it progresses. It sounds bad in a way, but like Modem was saying, it probably is not that bad of an idea. We just have to see how it goes. And I think honestly, a lot of our apprehension is probably because it's Activision, and Activision has a reputation to a lot of people.
Well, at least it's not Capcom. They would sell you every chapter.
Oh yeah, Capcom
for an extra
definitely. They would sell you want to reload your gun? It's $5 for the animation, or some shit like that.
Well, see, my thing with this is they're still gonna. The price drop is it's not so much it's like when Assassin's Creed Unity was fucked up and everybody was complaining about it, and Ubisoft was like, okay, look, you bought the season pass, we'll give you a game for free. Just sign this disclosure saying you can't sue us and blah blah blah, and everything's everything. The money they saved from being sued versus, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They're basically here's $10 off because you don't have the campaign. You can't sue us. because it's not technically the same thing. You're not getting charged the same price when you're missing out on content. So we can't sue them, and they still gonna make their money. So the money they save, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really not.
I get it.
A gesture of like, yo, we appreciate y'all, and it's not so much like we're trying to. It's more of a we're trying to save our own ass.
See, but I think that's the fact that it's a gesture of this is for Activision, this isn't for you, is what makes me wary of the decision. Because I think, and like Blake said, it could be that it's like Activision. It could be that it's Activision or one of these other companies or Capcom. Any one of these companies, if they were to do it, I have my doubts about it. Somebody like Project CD Red, like the way they've handled the Witcher DLC, if they're like, well, we're cutting off, we're actually, we're adding some more DLC, but it's going to cost $10 after they said they were going to give all DLC for free. I'm not as worried about it because it seems like it's not just for their benefit. Right. And I think that I'm worried about the intent, not necessarily the thing. The thing I could care less about. It's the actual intent behind this. And like you're saying, it could be nothing, and I'm hoping it is nothing. But
right. Yeah, and I'm hoping it's nothing more than that. I'm hoping they're just like, let's just save our ass before we get sued. Because, you know, game companies have been getting sued. EA got sued for Battlefield. Yeah. I think one other company got sued for something, but I forget. Ubisoft saved themselves from getting sued. Activision isn't stupid. You know, they're like, let's save ourselves money instead of costing ourselves money. Let's drop the price slightly. Which, like I said, $10? They don't make $10 back off of millions of people.
The season pass is going to get that back alone. Enough people buy a season pass and they'll get that money. Especially since they're putting less money into developing the last gen version. Yeah, they'll get their money.
Oh back. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. The funny thing about with you mentioning Unity, just a side note for anybody that didn't know, the DLC that they gave for free was broken. Like it was just as broken as the base game. I tried to play it the night it came out.
What, the Assassin's Creed China, whatever?
The Unity DLC was
they
broken.
They had DLC for Unity?
They gave it to everybody for free because of the backlash.
I thought they were giving away a game. Well, no, that was if you.
That's if you bought the season pass. I.e., if you spent the price of 2 games, we'll give you a free game. If you just bought the game, we'll give you the DLC for free.
No, they had DLC for that game.
Don't worry, it was broken and it required you to be connected to the internet to use.
Okay. Man, most of the stuff.
That's why I'm always like, did you know that? Were they like?
I'll be honest with you. After I played Unity for a few days, I tried to. And I got the super frame slowdown while I was walking in the game, and then it was screen tearing on top of the frame slowdown. My frames dropped to 5 frames per second. I swear to God, it did. And it's I'm walking, and no one was around. I'm in an empty room walking, and the frames are shitting on me. What is going on with this game? I just gave up. I tried to play it about a few months ago. And I was just like, why? No. Turn it off. I need to trade that shit in and get whatever 50 cents I can get for it. Because, it's the one Assassin's Creed game I have no desire to finish. And I finished them. I beat the goddamn Vita game.
I will be honest.
I don't want to beat that one.
Like that. It makes me think how much.
I think it's funny too that the last gen Assassin's Creed game that came out, I think it's called Syndicate or something like that.
Oh, you mean Rogue?
Yeah, Rogue. I find it funny how that one came out and it was better than Unity.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Exactly.
That's fucking hilarious. I'm about to put something in the chat for y'all to check out if y'all haven't seen this. I'm pretty sure y'all haven't seen this because it's not really talked about. But this shit is funny as hell. But on topic at hand, the price drop isn't really warranted. It's like they breaking even or just saving themselves from losing too much money. So, like, Prodigy is saying, hopefully it's nothing, but you know it is Activision, like Mike is saying. We kind of worry about that, but I mean, only the future will tell.
Yeah.
Only the future will tell. I'm just gonna hope for the best, because the last thing we need is to be screwed over.
See, this is sad because what I'm about to say kind of makes it even like worse. I know that clip, but you're lucky. You're going to get a good experience because you have a next gen system, and that's just bad to say it that way. It's like it's like you're in that crowd of it doesn't affect me, and it's bad.
Right.
You got like. I would have liked if they would have just announced from back.
Doesn't affect me. I just want to say, just because it doesn't affect me doesn't mean that I don't care.
Yeah,
I mean that
I know.
I don't care.
Totally
I do
agree.
care. This is fucked up. Hopefully it doesn't affect last gen like we think it might. Hopefully it doesn't, and I really hope it's not the case. Because that's fucked up.
Yeah. And see, what I was about to say was, I would have appreciated it better if they would have done like other people have did, like Rocksteady with Arkham Knight. We're not making this last gen. This is new gen only. Sorry guys, but we're using this because we want this to be the best game possible. You know, Halo 5. This is next gen only, guys. Sorry, we want to make this the best Halo we can make possible. We want to use the best equipment that we have around. You know, Uncharted 4. Sorry guys. You know, I'm fine with that. When you are making another like version of it and you start to like rip stuff out, that's cruel. That's cruel. That's wrong.
Here's half of the cookie, everybody else.
Yeah, you know, you get to eat a piece of the cookie, but it's gonna be the crumbs. You know, come on. That's not true.
So technically a cookie, but not as great.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, hey, you got a chip somewhere.
I'll put another link in the chat too.
You got a chocolate chip somewhere. So hold on, let's go to this link before we move on to anything else, because this shit is fucking tripping. Oh my! So
that shit is fucking hilarious. You see, that's just one. Right. I just want to say real quick, that's just one clip I've seen. I figured it's got to be something on YouTube, but the clip that I originally seen was something so fucking vicious. Like, the dude was shooting something totally... It was so crazy, man. I couldn't do nothing but laugh as soon as I seen it. Like, that was hilarious. That is something... It's like something so simple that shouldn't even be in that game.
Yeah, no, I heard this.
That's crazy.
Talk about it during the demo, and I never experienced it. Have you experienced this, Prod?
No.
I wish I'm mad that I didn't. I wanted to actually do that shit. All right, so let everybody watching the podcast know we're talking about NBA Live 16. Now, I did my say on the demo and how like the problems that they had, and it came out with issues. It has a lot of technical issues. One of them being this crazy backward shooting glitch where people are taking shots with their back to the
Tell them
basket.
how they can look the clip up, Mike.
Yeah,
just search in the
type in the search for NBA Live backwards no look shot glitch. That's the video we saw. And I'm gonna make sure when I talk about this in the description, to put it there so you guys can see. In fact, I'm about to tweet this shit out now because this is.
I liked it. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, why is this in y'all games? How did y'all not catch this in playtesting? Like, don't y'all have companies that y'all pay to playtest y'all games, and they didn't report this to y'all? And if they didn't report this to y'all didn't fix it?
They don't care.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. If it were like a once in a while, it would be like a rare occurrence. Like that video you sent me of Destiny with dude with this like fucking hammer of God.
Oh my god, yo,
that was an amazing glitch.
What?
Prod. That was an amazing fucking glitch.
Did you not see it, Prodigy?
This motherfucker, he linked you to it. This motherfucker threw his hammer into a like wall of like infinite.
Okay, look. This is what happened. At the start of the thing, right? It's just like some normal shit. He starts shooting at people, and then he uses his Titan Super, and he flame on with the hammer and shit. He just starts throwing his shit. He's just running down the hallway, and he's throwing his hammer at the people, and they're blowing up or whatever. And then he starts to go into the cut where they're spawning at. And he is throwing his hammer. He just keeps throwing his fucking hammer. This motherfucker gets into where they're spawning, and he's not even throwing a hammer anymore. His super is over. At one point he just starts sitting down, and the people just keep spawning and keep blowing up and just keep dying in front of him. And it goes on for like a whole minute and 30 seconds or something like that. Like, it's real crazy. Like, everybody in the comment section was saying the same thing. They're like, what is this? Like, it just looks like some regular shit until you get to the very end. You're like, oh my god, I didn't even think that was possible. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it got to the point where he just sat down. It was just like watching the light show. It was fucking amazing.
Like, he was just walking through the crowd, no one hitting him. Like, they didn't even have a chance to hit him, dog. It was so bad. Like, you gotta check your mentions. Cause I'm pretty sure I linked you. I tagged you too. Like, you gotta see this video.
Is it wrong that I'm now thinking about the perks?
Okay, here it is. I'm about to put it in the chat.
I'm saying, is it wrong that I'm thinking about the perks that he has on and how he was able to do that?
I mean, no, it's not wrong. It's just OP as hell. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, I'm telling you, literally, everybody in the comment section. Everybody in the comment section was like, "What is this? It's a normal video," and then I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I did.
I need to hear your reaction.
Oh my god, this is why you play a Titan.
That shit is crazy.
Yes. Oh my god.
Thing I've ever seen in my life.
That crazy.
Yo, it's still going.
Yes, it's crazy.
Oh, wait, so that's just an unfortunate.
No, that's not unfortunate at all. That's an awesome glitch. Look at all the fucking like ammo.
Well,
God damn it.
So, how are you forcing the? They're
right, exactly. Like, he's in the spawn with them, and they just keep spawning, and they keep just blowing up. It's like,
yo, that sounds like an amazing loot cave. Hold up, you might have a new loot cave.
No, if you look at the video, no loot drops. Besides,
it's just ammo.
No loot drops.
It would have been amazing if a loot dropped, because if you could cause that to happen and you used the 3 coin, oh my god. So Prod's gonna be trying to do this.
Oh no! Like, I already know what he did. I'm almost sure of it. So
Prod's gonna try to replicate this shit.
But see, that's the point. Like, there's awesome glitches like this. Then it's like the shit in 2K. I don't want to say 2K. And NBA Live. Like, this backwards shooting shit. It's funny to watch, but I can imagine how frustrating.
The gameplay.
Like, how frustrating it would be for that shit to just keep happening to you, and then you lose the game. Like, it's
gameplay breaking. Like, that in Destiny, that's just a really fucked up glitch. Or like, have you ever seen the glitch where dude got 80 kills off of killing one person to end the match?
I love
it's shit. Yo, his reaction is priceless. He hit somebody. Oh my god.
I'm confused. What happened? Well, while we're talking about that,
I'm gonna pull that up. But yeah, like you were saying, it's very game breaking to see.
Like, how did you not find this glitch? Like, you got play testers, you got your own testing that you do, and if y'all did find it, how did y'all not fix this? Or maybe they tried to fix it and they fixed a portion of it, that it doesn't happen all the time. But like, why does it happen? Period. Like, that's some weird ass coding. Whoever the fuck is coding, I will fire their ass.
I mean, some of that
have
honestly, some of that though is some of that is it's just like 2 lines of code that you wouldn't have thought would have had any problems with one another.
See, I can understand that if it was a new IP. This isn't a new IP.
But no, I'm saying from a coding standpoint,
iterations of this. But see, that's what I'm saying. They're using the same coders. Like, it's the same animation. Like, it doesn't make sense for this to be a glitch. When they first came back with 14 or 13 or whatever, this would have been fine. Like, okay, you got some glitches, whatever. Now, no. This is sequels. This is the same coders. Like, this don't make sense for this glitch to be here.
Because alright, so what it looks like is, this is from just to me it looks like there's a disconnect between, like, shot versus animation, the lines of code that will connect the two. Somebody miscoded there. I can't say. But no, I agree. Like, it shouldn't happen. But it doesn't surprise me, I guess, when it happens. Because I know the nature of code. Anything you think is perfect will break on you.
Right.
It's just
and I'm not saying people coding doesn't, like, make mistakes and so on and so forth. Like, there's all kinds of shit when it comes to coding. And I even get on people when they start talking about shit. Like, oh, it wouldn't take up this much space or whatever. Like, you don't code, you don't really know. I understand that there's a whole bunch of ones and zeros. You got to really know what you're doing. I understand mistakes are going to happen. What I'm saying is, though, this shouldn't at all have happened. It's the same shit.
You know what? It's something that's like, and I don't know why people don't call this out more often, but it's very like a EA Sports thing, because you look at Madden and there's like glitches that happen in Madden too. Like, it's like, how does it get that way? And then people will continually play it with it glitch like this. It's like, I'm not, again, going back to Unity, I could not suffer that game, even though they said they patched it and all that. I couldn't suffer the fact that your game came out that fucking broken from the jump. After all the Ubisoft had over 300 people in 11 different countries working on this game in the 2-year span, and that's what they came up with. That's unacceptable. And yeah, this is really unacceptable.
Y'all should have seen it before it went into QA.
Nah.
Man, I tell you, I would have hated to be a QA tester of that game.
Besides Unity coming out,
I would have quit if I had to QA test Unity. I would have been like, no, you don't pay me enough right now to tell you, like, to tell you what.
Like, what's wrong? I'm gonna need you to rewrite all the code. Just start from line 1.
The fucking
go down.
I mean, besides the game being broken, what fucked up Unity for me was it not having true co-op. Like, I was done with the Assassin's Creed franchise when they killed off, what's my boy's name? I want to say Desmond. Yeah. When they killed my boy Desmond, I was done with the fucking franchise. Fuck y'all.
I was kind of glad Desmond was gone, but I didn't think it was the right way to get rid of him.
Exactly. Why is he dead?
It was a stupid outro. It was like, okay, you got a choice. Either you stay alive and the whole world turns to shit, or you die.
See, you know what? That's like that Mass Effect. That's like that Mass Effect 3 bullshit. Ooh, I don't know what. Change the subject.
I mean, like, look, it's the martyr. You have to be the real hero is the martyr that saves.
But it was like they would know. See, okay, like I was just gonna go into it deep.
Look. I'm not gonna hold it up, but I was just thinking about this last night. I don't give a fuck how heroes, quote unquote heroes, die as long as it's not voluntary suicide. Take for instance Gears of War 3. When Dom sacrificed himself, that was stupid as fuck. Hey, no one was like, okay, man,
I would say the only thing about it is
now, here's the thing. To me, I was madder at the fact that Marcus didn't lose his shit. And it sounds weird, but so for those that haven't, the reason I say that is because
I'm gonna die anyway. Like I feel like he knew.
No, but now Flying. So for those that have never read the Gears of War books, in the very first book, Dom's older brother basically has the same thing happen to him.
Right.
They're in a really fucked up situation, and Marcus is gonna try and save him, and his brother kills himself. And I'm like, as a family member, as a person of the Santiago family, when do you stop letting your sons go around this guy? like, and Marcus was just like, oh, it's horrible. Like, that was my issue, and I get the, like, no, you shouldn't just be like, I'm just gonna pull the pin, or I'm just gonna blow everything the fuck up. I think it fit more with Dom, because Dom didn't pretty much want to live anymore. Like, it made more sense with Dom.
See, me, I don't have a problem with the hero sacrificing himself if it makes sense. You can like if you go down to be the hero, if you go down in a like sensible, like, you know, it has to be this way.
Right. There's no other way.
To resolve the story. That's fine. The problem I had with the Assassin's Creed shit was that it resolved nothing. It just left even more bullshit.
I love that.
It's like, it really did resolve nothing. He dies.
Right, so why the fuck he died?
Comes out and was like, okay, now I can fuck shit up even more. Like, wait, he kills himself and this bitch is still gonna fuck shit up? Are you serious?
Yes.
So I was done with that fucking franchise. They killed my nigga Desmond. I was done with the fucking franchise. So what interested me about the franchise of games when there was like 4-player co-op. I'm like, that's what's up. I can play Assassin's Creed with my niggas. The game came out and there's no 4-player co-op. Fuck y'all.
Oh, there was if you could actually connect.
Oh, I mean, so fun fact.
It was just fucking dumb.
First night Assassin's Creed drops. Me and my boy MicroATX are trying to play, and so we both get on. And shout out to Mav. We couldn't play all of a sudden. We were like, what's going on? And then I was like, wait, you're not signed into the multiplayer. You need to sign in. He's like, I'm signed in. And I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, go look. And I look at his name, and it says, now keep in mind, this is like 3 hours after release. He's the max level for the multiplayer.
Huh?
From that point forward, every time he tried to connect, he said that he was not able to connect to Ubisoft servers. Wow. And so he basically, it was dead DOA for him. He could not play it, but whenever you looked at his profile, it showed him as the max level 3 hours into getting the game.
Yo, that's insane.
Okay, no. But and see, that was another thing that bothered me about Unity 2, and that the way they like would put all these chests around, it was like, oh, well, you have to get on the app and play the app to unlock this chest.
Oh no, don't forget you can buy keys.
You can only unlock
the keys.
Oh my god, that game was rife with fucking like, oh, it was like, first of all, you're gonna give me a poorly made game from a standpoint of technicality. It was a technical mess. Second, you put me in another bullshit story. Like, I don't mind the bullshit story because part of the fun for me playing Assassin's Creed has always been it's just a like huge like B- movie that's just hilarious to go through. But you put me in another ridiculous scenario, then you're going to try to make me pay my way through it, or you lock stuff out because I have to do the co-op, which kind of works sorta when it wants to, huh?
I'm gonna say this. As an Assassin's Creed game, and I have to say this, I am one of the very few people who had, I think I fell through the world once my entire time playing the game. Had no problems until I got to the DLC, which didn't fucking work. I'm not going to get into that.
Dude, people would just like, you would be walking and all of a sudden people would float out the fucking air and fall to the ground. Like, what the hell is this? It was raining people.
How to say, Assassin's Creed Unity was a masterpiece of an unoptimized game. Like, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Nothing worked correctly except for the microtransactions. Those worked correctly.
Exactly.
Very horrible. And again, going back to where we originally start this, EA Sports, shame on you for doing something like that, especially with the sports game. The last thing that you should do with the sports game is to not have it. Have things like that. That's just not.
That's another thing. You're competing with NBA 2K16. We can't make or complain about 2K16's shortcomings when your game shortcomings outmatch theirs.
The best the best free marketing that 2K Sports has got has been EA Sports, because nobody's going to look at that game and say, I'm choosing this over 2K because I like to play video game basketball. They just sold them another 1 million copies.
I'm just saying, Black. You didn't see it when we played live, but during the demo for live, right? If you were shirtless, you were missing the
Oh, the
bottom half
black
of your
arms?
torso.
What
No,
about the
you were
black
missing the
arms?
bottom,
Oh wait,
and
what?
you were missing. You know, like how demigods in 2K, you don't have the bottom half of your torso because you're not supposed to be able to be that height. In live, if you were shirtless with your character, the bottom half of your torso was missing in Pro Am. It was
Yeah, oh, that's
amazing for the
bad. I
demo.
thought you were talking about the black arm thing. Like if you
No,
wear the sleeves, if you wear the black thermal sleeves, your hands become black.
oh, yeah.
Like like what the hell? It looks like you got frostbite on
And
your whole arm.
I laugh about this stuff, but that's the only because otherwise I would probably be getting really mad with it. Like if I wasn't just laughing it up, it's stuff that shouldn't by any stretch of imagination.
Yeah, for all the
Look,
money that you claim that these games cost you to make, and you use that as your justification for your price point. Like I
look,
personally don't have issues with $60 because I come from the era when we were paying fucking $75 to $100 for fucking Sega Genesis games. Sega Genesis games. So
yeah,
the pricing back then was ridiculous. They could price whatever they want. There was no standard market. At least now we have a standardized market. So
fine.
I'm cool with that. But you're trying to justify your $60 price point to people who are wondering what they're getting for their $60, and you're coming up with this shit? No. By no means, no. It's one thing if you give me a short campaign like on The Order. That's subject to how long I want to invest. Like if my time is worth the investment. It's one thing like with the Halo thing where they had their server issues, but the game was functional. It was functional as far as you could play Halo. It's not like you couldn't play the game. It's just that one portion had its issues, and they have resolved those server issues, right? Hey, I'm just asking because I
I
haven't
believe
played.
so.
But it's like, okay, I mean that's a whole nother technical issue that while I think it's bad that it happens, it's also something that's kind of separate of the game's design. It's not a design flaw. It's just a case of, that it's something going haywire on an outside source. The inside source thing, the game that you created doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. That's a whole nother issue right there. That's really, really bad.
All right, that brings up. I cannot wait for Fallout 4 on that topic that you just mentioned. People like to forget, but Bethesda puts out
Oh no, they're buggy as fuck.
ridiculously buggy games. Nobody remembers like the horse, like the horses from Skyrim. Your horse could be like standing vertically on a wall, and it's no problem. I'm waiting to see that stuff. Like I just find that stuff so hilarious just to see like what did you break for this to happen?
Yeah, no. They gotta have better testing. Be better with your technical testing. By the way, I did put the video in the
Yeah, I saw it.
chat.
I saw the. There's also the perspective of the dude that got killed. It is both really funny.
Yeah, I know. The funny thing about it is this Destiny Twitch streamer, Triple Wreck, for like months he used that dude screaming as one of his alerts. Wow. And he actually ran into that dude in a match, and he was talking to him. He was like, "Yo, you're the dude who broke the game." And they were talking, and he was like, "Well, can I use your voice?" And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead, man." So he used that as his like alert for his chat. Wow. So every time you just hear that dude screaming, "Oh my God, I broke the game!" It was hilarious. It was fucking hilarious.
I also put in a link in the chat about Apple talking about their release of an electric car. They're supposed to be releasing this in like 2019.
Yeah, I remember hearing about
I'm not gonna be rude.
Apple
if you buy Apple products.
Shout out, by the way, to Silver Joystick, who was in the Grown Man Gaming podcast last night, and he was trying to make a huge argument how the Apple iPad could become the lead gaming platform. And
Hell
potentially
no.
be a lead gaming
Oh
platform.
no. Okay, I gotta go listen to that now. I gotta go listen to that now.
It was,
Nope.
Please go check go make it. Like Silver Joystick, you're a cool ass dude, but it's just a hilarious bit because we were all going in on him.
That doesn't even make
About
sense. The lead gaming platform?
Look,
what games do they have on high?
Now here's the thing, Black. Without hearing that, I'm gonna toss some things out there. Obviously, all right, the mobile market is what contains the majority of gamers, not PC, not console. Mobile is the big market of game.
Yeah, I know what he's saying, but statistically speaking, yes. Now, do he mean gamers like? Do he mean gamers like me, you, and him?
No,
that's not the culture. But if you look at more people buy games on mobile platforms than on consoles, simply because just about everybody has a cell phone. Lots of people commute without driving.
A lot of people have consoles, but that doesn't mean that's gonna be the lead platform. I mean, I got games on my phone right now that I don't even fucking play.
You're preaching to the choir right
statistical. Modem, it's purely like I'm assuming he is as well speaking.
No, you have to hear the argument. The argument is quite interesting.
I have a cell phone. I have games on my cell phone that I don't even fucking play. Like
your mobile game.
It's an interesting argument that I commend him for making it. I understood where he was coming from.
I don't.
I just could not agree.
I can't commend him at all. I think he's stupid.
Well, I commend him for sticking to his guns. Okay, this is where I get where he's coming from. Is that if someone could figure out a possible way to influence bigger developers to start putting more things on mobile devices,
Konami,
then no, they're gonna put pachinko, so no. But no, it's like if you could actually convince an Activision or EA or somebody to go and sell out for this as the next big thing, then it does have the potential there. That being said, shit ain't gonna happen. So it's
the hardware doesn't even match up with the next gen games. I mean next gen.
And it's funny because we were all like joking around in chat, and like again, I'm not like knocking him because he's a very cool dude. And everybody within like the chat and the podcast, we were all kind of like ribbing him about it. But I was like, I dare you to try to pull off Sagat's tiger uppercut using his fucking touchscreen. I dare you.
Yo, I will take that challenge.
Try to play Super Street Fighter with that shit. I dare you to try to do that.
Have y'all tried Mortal Kombat for the phone?
Don't do that. Don't uninstall.
You mean, I've played.
Nope.
I played the WWE game. It's hilarious. I mean, it's just swipes. You're not really engaging yourself. And I think that's where mobile devices would break as a lead platform. Is that
I think? Well, that's because
people
aren't
have to
utilizing the platform.
And it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend like for the iPad, I'm gonna spend $400 for an iPad. That's the cost of a fucking Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Then I'm going to have to go out and buy a controller separate if I want something that I feel comfortable. There's not many like controllers out there, but if Apple, let's say like if Apple were the ones to do it, that controller would be fucking $100. So just
what do you mean? They made a style, Apple.
And then it's like the size of the screen, it's not conducive to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is he talking about?
Like, it's good for it's like the reason why the Vita and the 3DS work. It's because they're quick on the go, small.
There are games that work though on the iPad. They're legitimate games that work.
I know there was this one game I saw they gave like a 9.0. I forget the name of that series.
The XCOM game worked really good on iPad.
Okay, but see, that's a like real-time strategy game. I mean,
I'm not saying every game is going to work. I'm saying certain genres.
Sending your player to a point to do an action. So,
some genres will work, but the majority will not.
But is that enough?
But back to the original topic. Can we discuss how Apple is trying to get a bigger and bigger portion of money? First it was the iPod. and the Mac Pro and all that stuff. But the iPod, $100, $200. Then we got the iPhone, which is now up to what, like $600, $700, $800. Then you got the Apple Watch, which you can buy a $10,000 version of. Now we're talking electric cars. Apple, you're moving from consumer electronics right now. I know people that paid like $10,000 for that watch, but it's purely like a status piece at that point. An electric car by Apple is going to only compete with a Tesla. That is the only price range that is going to be in, and I just need Apple. Apple, please.
Yeah, the electric car thing. Apple is pretty much like with that Apple TV. The rumors of them trying to actually make a real console.
I didn't even hear that.
Things like that. Oh yeah, it's been going around for a couple of years that they've been looking into the idea of trying to figure out how to make like the Apple TV into kind of a hybrid console device where you play, you know.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It was
Apple.
one of my original arguments when people were talking about the Xbox One, the way it was introduced. I told people a lot of that TV stuff was to blunt Apple, because Apple has been looking into get into this whole I want to control your whole lifestyle type of thing, because that's what pretty much Apple is trying to do. They're really trying to like evolve your, like you said, you have to watch. Like if I want to look at the time, I look at the Apple thing. If I'm going to read a book on the tablet, I look at the iPad. If I'm going to watch TV, I watch it to the. They're trying to like get them, and it's a lucrative market, because if you can get enough people to buy into the brand like Apple has, Apple sells, like I tell people that all the time. Apple doesn't necessarily make the best product. People keep saying that, and that's not necessarily true. What Apple has done is that they've been able to establish a product line that has become a lifestyle for a lot of people. The iPod set it off for them tremendously. Because before the iPod, nobody gave a fuck about Apple. Nobody really bought Macintoshes except for Kinko's, because they were good for graphics design. But once the iPod came out, and then they incorporated some of the stuff from the iPod into the iPhone, that blew up, and then they incorporated some of the iPhone and iPod into the iPad, and that blew up. Now everybody's like, we want AirBooks, we want Mac.
I think you're forgetting, Black. Apple has revolutionized technology every year since the.
And they haven't, because like we were saying to dude on the Grown Man Gaming podcast, if you look at the phones like what Samsung has done, and then you look at the new iterations of like the iPhones, they're 2-3 steps behind of what Samsung and LG and all these other companies have done years before. The Siri thing isn't an Apple invention. I had a Samsung phone back in the early 2000s that had a like scaled down voice thing where you just like you would say a name and it'll dial their number, or you like say something and the web would come up. And it was really bare bones, but it was the catalyst for that.
I will put this out there. I'm not just trying to hate on Apple. The thing is, what Apple does really well is Apple kind of, whereas somebody like Samsung, or a lot of the Android products have a very disjointed but extremely forward-thinking platform, Apple tends to have a better ecosystem overall, and they don't jump into stuff usually just out of the blue, and they generally have they have at least a basic understanding of what they're doing. You don't see things being just completely and utterly broken most of the time. There are cases of it, but I don't want people to think I don't just hate Apple. It's just it's kind of like it's become such a status symbol and such just this thing of like, well, I have an iPhone. I'm like, it's a phone. It's a phone. I don't care.
And it bothers me. I have an iPhone plus a mean though. Like,
well, all right. So I think this is a completely different discussion, but in my opinion, what Apple did was Apple found a way to make middle class America feel as though they were above middle class with the acquisition of various hardware products. Because of that, people nowadays, most of middle class America and up, even people that are impoverished, buy Apple products as a sort of saying, no, I have this, or I am at this level of society, and it becomes this status symbol. It's like the idea of as a rapper, you have a diamond chain because you can afford one. It's not gold, it's not silver, but it's diamond because that's the type of money you have.
Yeah.
Apple has become that in a lot of the technology world. You don't have a tablet, you have an iPad.
They've really sold it. Yeah, they've really sold it very well, because I remember at my last job, I would have like just regular people. Like this lady, she was like a homemaker. She was talking to me. I'm like, yeah, she's a homemaker and all that. And something happened on the register I was working with, and things have glitches. It happens. And she said something like, "What is that? Is that like based on a PC? You guys should really use Macs. Macs are really good. They're the best. I never have any problems with my." And I'm just sitting there like, really? Really? You really are feeding somebody, especially somebody me, who plays around with PCs and has a good working knowledge. You're trying to feed me that line of bullshit, but that's the line of bullshit everybody. I guarantee you, anybody who has a Mac is going to tell you they're better computers.
When I worked in retail for electronics, the things I got asked most were about tablets and about like headphones. And every time I showed somebody something, their questions were, where are Beats and where is Apple? And it was always that question. It was never, oh, what's the features of this? Oh, is that the iPad? Or where are your iPads? No, I mean, Apple, you show, because most people say iPad when they mean tablet anyway. But people are like, where are your iPads? No, and the brand is the thing. They don't want the Android equivalent. They don't want anything. If it's not an Apple, if it's not Beats by Dre, if it's not, I mean, even now, people kind of see Mario as the face of video gaming. Oh, is that a new Nintendo game or new video? It's all stuff but Apple in the technology world overshadows most of that when it comes to handheld and carryable products. The Mac Pro still looks like a trash can. But beyond that,
that shit is fucking the price for it. It starts at $1,800.
And I think that's the other
thing. And all you get is just that little.
I'm saying I think that's the other thing. Their pricing is a way to say, look, I spent $800 on a cell phone. I have money. Not I was stupid enough to buy an $800 cell phone that isn't worth $800. And if you buy Apple products, that is your own choice. It's just not worth $800. Same way that Beats headphones are not worth $250.
No, they're not. I was mad my sister got me a pair for Christmas. I told her to take them back. I was like, take that shit back.
It's just, but it's I guess it's what's it? It's the name cost. You get a solid product, but then you're paying for that name.
Yeah,
you're
and I mean, hey, I'll be real. She wouldn't take them back, so I'm using them now while I'm talking to you guys, because this is what I use them for. Because I'd be damned if I'm taking these outside of the house.
Oh, you would get robbed.
I have wireless Beats. Do you know what would happen to me?
Oh, you're done.
Exactly.
And thank you for donating them to.
And the sound quality is cool and all. You guys sound nice. You sound crispy, but it's not anything like I haven't heard in other. Put it this way. It's not something that's so groundbreaking. It's not like I hear all of your ambient noise in the background. It's not like it's not like I say, yo, modem. I can hear your fan, your laptop or some shit like that. It's not giving me the hearing of a god.
Right.
So it doesn't make a song sound so much superior than hearing it on any other sound system that I've had before.
But more so, when it comes to, like I said, the brand and everything like that, with Apple expanding into the car industry, especially the electric car industry, I mean, it's not. I don't really see that big of a deal. I don't see what's the hype about it or what's the negativity towards it or whatever. It's an electric car, bro. It's not like Apple announced they about to recreate muscle cars and blah blah blah. Like it's like kind of cool. It's whatever. It's an electric car.
And that's the thing. Apple doesn't target the hardcore. They don't target like the techies when it comes to phones. What Apple is going to do is Apple is going to make electric cars trendy, and between 2019, 2020 to 2030, it is going to be the thing to have an electric Apple car.
See, that's my thing. I don't think it's going to be like that. I don't think. I think it'll do well enough that it's something of a thing. But I don't think it's going to be so big. Everybody's going to like, well, I got an Apple car. Like, I don't think it's going to be like that. Especially with the way electric cars are. It's the reason why we don't see too many electric cars today. Even if we see hybrid cars, we don't see too many hybrid cars. It's just not going to be that big of a deal. It may appeal to the people who already have electric cars, but I don't see them being too big at all. It's like the brand just isn't that strong.
No, I agree kind of with what Prodigy was saying though, because they're going to try to make it more trendier.
Right.
I mean,
pretty much Apple is like the designer. They're the Gucci of technology.
Right.
You don't necessarily buy it because it's the best looking thing. Hey, it's Apple. You know?
Apple.
But even then, I just don't see it being that big of a deal.
I don't either. I really haven't.
I see their phones being a bigger deal than the fucking car. I don't see the Apple event being like, well, this is our new Apple car.
You sure you don't want to get yourself a 2-door Apple electric car?
Nah, bro.
I'm saying is for the last couple of years we've been hearing nothing but it's become the year of the wearable. When Apple made basically a $600 way of checking the time without pulling or checking phone notifications without taking your phone out of your pocket. They saved you half a second, and people are willing to spend upwards of $10K on that piece of technology.
Well, some people are willing to spend millions or like thousands of dollars on a fucking watch that just tells the time.
This is nothing. I say that, but we're talking middle class America. Like the people that are usually cutting coupons, the people that are usually they're in kind of they're not going to go out of their way. As someone that went to high school in the early 2000s, the amount of people who cared way too much about having an iPhone is fucking stupid. It was literally like just like how people like, oh, part of having the right clothes was having an iPhone. You couldn't just wear like you have to have it's not just sneakers, you got to get J's.
Right.
It's not just a shirt, you got to have Aeropostale, American Eagle. No, it's not just a phone, you need an iPhone.
Right. Well, I mean that goes hand in hand with like anything. That's like just like people are like, well, I have an Xbox One. Well, I have a PS4. Well, I have this laptop. Well, I have this.
I think it's kind of different. No, I think we're proud of saying how it's kind of different is it's like
they will make it's not just that you have a car. I have the 2015
I have a PS4, right? We both have gaming consoles. As far as like most people concerned, we're on the same level. It's not like, it's not like these are status symbols. I think that's what he's trying to say is that Apple has become like a status symbol. Like I was saying with the Gucci reference, like
I get that too, but I feel like anything to anybody can be a status symbol. As long as you don't have it, it's a status symbol.
You personally, but we're saying like there's a collective. We're talking about to a huge collective because again, having worked in electronics, we see that kind of that quote unquote hive mind to it. Like nobody understands. It's like me and you understand gaming enough to understand, the nuances, the differences, and things like that. These are people who have really no understanding. They just know a name, so therefore they're going with that name. Again, like he said with the Jordans, everybody knows Michael Jordan's shoes. Yeah. So some people will just buy them because they're Jordans. Right. And Jordans are the thing. You know what I mean? Right. That's how Apple kind of
buy an Apple product because you have Apple. Like I mean, Apple is a company that has now gotten away with calling it the Apple Pencil and charging $100 for a stylus.
That shit killed me.
And people will buy it.
That was crazy.
People will buy it.
That shit, oh my fucking God.
Now, look, personally on the matter, I have an iPhone 5C. Okay, my personal experience with iPhone, the reason why I bought it is because Android for me is just crappy. Like, it always craps out on me, no matter what Android I have, and it's just been my bad luck with Android phones.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a valid reason.
Right. My experience with iPhone, totally different. I had my 5C, haven't had any problems with it. At least any problems that warrants, like, oh, fuck this phone. Like, any problems I've had is, like, a small, like, oh, I had my phone on too long, I need to turn it off and let it, like, reset or whatever. But with me personally, me having my iPhone is enough Apple for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to have the Apple laptop.
And you don't wear it as a badge of pride.
People haven't.
Huh? You said what?
You don't wear it as a badge of pride. You're not coming around like, oh, you got that phone.
I'm not like,
I got Apple.
Yeah, I got this. Like, yeah, iPhone, whatever, ever. I just tell people, like, they like, oh, well, why do you have yours? I tell them the same story. Like, they, you know, for me, they make a solid product, just like Prod said. They make a solid product, and it lasts me a long ass time. With my Android phones, I would have them for maybe one time. I had an Android phone literally for a month, and it just shit on itself.
Yeah, see, and that's a good reason to endorse like a product because you find that it gives you a better experience.
Right. But see, and that's also what I'm saying. Like, I feel like because Apple doesn't hold, well, the iPhone can't have this and this and that software. Like, they make it to where every Apple product, almost every Apple product, can have the same software. So your iPad, your iPhone, your Apple laptop, your Apple desktop can have GarageBand and shit like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, for me personally, I don't need an Apple car. I don't need an Apple laptop. I don't need an Apple Watch. I don't need any of that shit.
Then you're doing it wrong because you're not buying into the fucking...
Fuck all of that.
I'm just saying, because watch this. Modem, here what? But Modem, you have an iPhone, which means you have to use iTunes. Which means if you had an Apple TV, you could watch all of your movies, listen to your music on your TV. But what if you then need to do some business when you're on a plane ride, but you don't want to take a full laptop? You can take your iPad. But maybe the iPad's too big, so you can grab the iPad mini. Well, obviously, maybe you don't want something, maybe you just want something mini, so you can go back to the iPod just for your phone, so you don't have to take up music.
That's like you're preaching to the people who are blind, right? Just like
those are the people
who hive mind, right? Yeah. And see, that's business. That's business versus.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just making the point of.
So I mean, I want to see personally. I don't see nothing wrong with their business, but nothing. Speaking about their car, nothing can make their car unless the price range is very fucking affordable.
Drake, Lil Wayne, LeBron.
No. Unless
all of these
very
people
fucking
drive
affordable,
it, and that will make it.
That's fine. They can drive it, but the excuse is going to be he got LeBron money, he got Drake money, he got.
But here's the thing.
I would agree.
If I am somebody that's trying to appear better off than I am, if I am somebody that is that insecure,
so you think people are trying
that car means I have LeBron money.
The reason why I understand what you're saying, and I think that you are right. I think you're right, but I also would not be surprised if it happened because having worked in downtown DC and seen people on an annual basis go to this AT&T store that's on the corner and stand in line, I would sometimes have to be to work at 7 a.m. So I would catch the train downtown. I usually get to work early, you know.
Okay.
I would get off the train maybe 6:30, 6:45, and I would come out of that exit near the Apple store. Sometimes I would do it intentionally if I knew that there was a new iPhone come out. Why? Because at 6:30 there would be a line around the block of people waiting
to get this phone.
And I asked them, "What are you waiting to get that phone?" And they're holding the last year iPhone in their hand, waiting to spend $600 to get that phone. Mind you, that store didn't open till 9 o'clock, so these motherfuckers were willing to be late to work.
Yeah.
In order to be first to get that phone. So, while I'm with you, I don't think it's going to make that big of an impact. If
everything you're saying makes sense.
Like you're speaking, like again, you're speaking to the choir. But I fear for those people who are crazy enough to actually endorse it because it's Apple. Because I've heard some
And
people.
you said
It's
you I think
scary.
people will be willing to possibly put themselves in the debt. Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see
The dude that
people
wears
doing that shit.
Jordans out of the store when he knows there's a line of people and they don't have enough Jordans. The dude that ends up getting mugged because he's the dude that got the Jordans. He's the dude that got the $300 pair of shoes. I may go into debt next year, but for this year, I'm riding in that Apple car. That's all that matters. This year, the moment, the current.
I only see a very small amount of people doing that shit, and like you said,
And I hope I totally hope you're 100% right.
But here's the thing: I
don't think
guarantee
you're
you, Apple will find some way to make like a cheap ass model that will appeal.
The iCar Mini.
Okay, all right. Wait. In all seriousness, Prod, Mike, how much would y'all pay for an iCar? In all seriousness, how much would y'all pay for an iCar?
About the same so much I'd pay for a Kia.
Any car, like it would have to be a just.
Well, no,
good
let me
car.
put it this way: since it's an electric car, it has to be at least Tesla priced or better than Tesla.
See, you talking
no.
And I'm not even paying for a Tesla.
Let's say just throw out a number out there. Let's say 20,000, 30,000.
Well, see, knowing that it's an electric car, it's not going to be no way. It's probably going to be 60.
Yeah, and here's the thing: that would be if I could afford it. If I knew I could afford a $60,000 Apple car, I might get one if it had what I was looking for.
My thing is this: like,
has to
I
be
think
the right
electric
car.
cars are cool, but if I could afford a $60,000 car, I'm probably going to get a luxury. Like, I'm probably going to try to see how much it would cost me to get, like, if I can bump it up a little more and maybe get a Maybach or something.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
But see, again, that's my point. Why would you get an Apple car, an Apple electric car, when for 20,000, for maybe 40,000 less, you can get you a luxury car and not be in fucking debt?
Again, you're preaching to the choir, but
it's
there's.
Apple.
But see, that's
I will give you that reason.
As much as Apple
I will make the point.
A status point,
I will make the point.
Other cars are too. Like, it doesn't make sense.
You know what I would say? The best way to find this out is we need to find somebody who actually was crazy enough to buy that fucking stylus or buy an Apple Watch and ask him what the hell made you feel like this was the move to make.
Because,
right.
I mean, like,
that's the type of mentality person I think would end up buying that car. Is that somebody who feels like the stylus is worth $100?
I want to make a point. I'm not gonna say everybody's gonna be driving an Apple car.
Right.
But I guarantee you, when you start to ask people what car they want and what car they're working towards, or you're going to start to see more and more of them. Apple electric cars will start to become more of a mainstream thing once Apple does it.
No.
In all seriousness, I feel like, judging by what we see now, I don't think it's going to be like we're going to see more of them. I think Apple electric car is going to replace the electric cars we see now. And we don't see too many of those now. So,
well, I think that's depending on where you live. If you live in someplace like San Francisco, you probably see a hell of a lot of them. It's all a matter of where you live.
Well, I live in Compton, so...
Or like hybrids.
Around my area...
We're talking about pure electronic.
Yeah, I mean, I see more hybrids than I see pure electronics, but even the hybrid cars, it's like one.
Yeah, it's like rare, exactly.
It's like playing Pokemon and then you get.
I live 15 minutes from
a
gas station that does hybrid, and I barely see anybody with hybrids in that.
So it's like I live by my work
and
my job location. There's a gas station, not even a gas station. Excuse me, a Carl's Jr. that has 3 lanes for electric cars. I never see a fucking electric car parked there.
Right.
I mean, and my thing is that I am not gonna say if 2019 the iCar and the iCar Mini, because I fucking love that idea, come on the market. That is gonna immediately change it. But I'm saying like the next decade.
I'm sorry.
The next decade will be affected by that. Yo, no, look, Modem, the iCar, that's the $60,000. But you want to get that? You want to get your college student? You want to get you're fresh trying to get a new car, a $20,000 car? Grab you that iCar Mini.
What is it, like, 1-seater? Like, I want to
2 doors. It's gonna be a 2-door hatchback. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna.
No. Hell no. Why would anyone buy that? Like,
Yo,
how
Apple,
does it even
Apple,
make sense?
Apple, that is
I
copyrighted.
hope Apple
You
doesn't
own-
listen to this,
Apple,
because they would
you are-
do that
that is
shit.
copyrighted. You have to hit us
Bruh,
up.
bruh.
Exactly.
Like,
We get royalty fees for this idea.
iCar Mini priced at $20,000. I would rather, and I plan to, I would rather have a Toyota fucking Corolla. Okay? I would rather have that.
That's
than
a
a
bit
fucking
hard. That's-
a 2-door hatchback? What? That doesn't even fucking compute. That doesn't make sense. You literally would have to be crazy. You would literally have to have money just to throw around. You would literally have to walk into the store like, here, bitch, throw some money in some people's
Yo,
face. Give me the fucking
I want to make
Mini.
this point now.
Oh,
Go to
man.
Google
Like,
and type in
no.
2-door hatchback and tell me you don't paint that like glossy white, and tell me that doesn't look like something that Apple would put out. Tell me that doesn't look like something that Apple would put
Oh
out.
man.
I wouldn't even want that.
Oh man.
That sticker
I can't
on my
imagine.
head. Like, everybody, this car is gonna be so. It's probably be shaped like a fucking apple. Like, I
Oh
don't.
shit. No.
Dog, like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fucking make sense. Apple on wheels? You gonna drive an Apple on wheels? Who the fuck is gonna drive an
Purchase
Apple
your
on wheels?
electricity through iTunes.
Bruh.
Yo, Tesla got into the home like generator, like power bank business. Apple's right there.
Oh
Boom.
fuck! I am not standing in line at an Apple store and making an appointment to get a goddamn. No,
Like people think, like I really think Steve Jobs was rest his soul. Steve Jobs was planning out like Napoleon. This man was going to take over the world with Apple, and they still trying to do it.
Yeah.
You see, that's the thing. As big as iPhone is, and iPhone is arguably one of the biggest phones, their laptops aren't that big. Their desktops aren't that big.
Their laptops are really big with college students.
Yeah,
Their
yeah,
laptops
yeah,
are
college students. But I
massive.
know so many
Yeah.
more college students that rather
But
have
it's
Windows
exactly.
laptop.
No, they're very much niche products because again, but they appeal to those people who've been told.
But
That's
here's
better.
and this is the one reason other issue I say, because as somebody a part of my generation for whatever fucking reason is Apple crazy. I don't fucking understand it. I don't get it.
How old are you, Prod?
21.
Okay. I'm old. Well, yeah, I'm like 3 years older than you. I don't feel like.
I don't know. It
I
might
feel like
be.
we're in the
Maybe
same
I might be
generation.
feeling different. It's just.
Yeah, I feel like my generation isn't that Apple crazy. I feel like they're more Android crazy than they are Apple.
And maybe it's like your area because I know like here in the DC area,
Right.
everybody be on that Apple shit.
Yeah, maybe
Same
it is
thing
an
with
East Coast
VA.
thing because
Same
on the
with
West
VA.
Coast, like for whatever reason, East Coast endorse more of the media than the West Coast does.
Maybe
Like,
I don't know.
If you ever played a Call of Duty game and you look at the world map, East Coast, if the East Coast is lit the fuck up like a Christmas tree, and West Coast got like some blips, it's not really lit up. But in general, this has always been said that New York is like the capital of media and shit like that. But
Oh, go downtown New York and see what you see.
Right,
It is
right.
the
So-
greatest place on
Square.
the planet.
so
That's my
Fucking
opinion.
I understand that, but yeah, maybe it's just my area.
It might not. It might be the area. Like
Yeah,
it's
maybe
just. I think back to.
I still don't think the iCar. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what they come out. They got the greatest marketing scheme ever.
Telling you
I
now.
just don't see it being as big as their phone. I just don't see it. I can't. It doesn't make sense on paper, on anything. Like, why?
I mean, the biggest issue with it is they would have to find a way to both make it premium and make it affordable for their
And you
general
can't make that
market.
affordable. That's the first problem. You can't make
See, the thing is
a car affordable that's electric.
because here's the thing. You know what? Watch it. Look, the normal model, they got everything. They got the GPS. They got the screen. They got all this stuff. The other model, they just give you a little slot. Just be like, yo, plug your iPhone in. You got your GPS all built in.
You
You
know, I
already
see
got
them do that.
And
I've
they
seen
cut
them.
costs just by being like, it will function perfectly with your
Right.
iPhone.
They would do better teaming up with a car company and tricking out one of their cars.
Oh God!
Yeah,
please don't say that. Black,
Black.
They should have done that.
Black. Apple and Tesla.
Team it up with
Black.
look, get you, like, I'm
Apple
telling
and
you,
Tesla.
get you no, not even Tesla. Get you.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Get
like
you a
just
cheap ass. Get you a cheap ass.
Tell Ford, yo, we want to make your dashboard
so,
like
can I make a point?
ready.
Do you know what the issue with what you're saying is? That is the company that Apple is. Apple is a company that will buy another company because it will.
But see, that's
no,
the
we're
thing.
not saying buy. We're saying
they don't
license.
have to buy it. They
like
can just
get a license with them to put something in the dashboard.
Like whatever is the cheapest model car right now. Whatever's the cheapest model car, they can go. Let's team up. We strip your logos and all that shit off the car. We make it an Apple car and trick it out with Apple gear. Price it at like 3,000 more or whatever. Let's make it an even number. Bam, Apple car.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Kind of like when they used to have the
That would be fucking affordable, and then I would be like, yo, that would be trendy as fuck, because not only is it affordable, people are gonna want it because it's Apple and it's affordable. Then we would have a fucking
no, because you remember when they used to have the Eddie Bauer cars.
With all that said, I would also like to stop because I don't want to give Apple any more ideas.
I'm just saying.
It's my word.
2019, y'all heard it first.
Loaded on the internet. It will be archived. I am going to actually copy of this video. So don't be calling Google and having them take my shit down. I'm going to have hard copies of this Apple.
You need to download the file. You need to download
Modem and Prodigy. We have came up with your marketing scheme.
Apple Car Mini.
You can't do it without talking to us.
Oh my God! We need to download the MP4 in case they try to take.
Oh, I'm already going to do that. I'm putting it in my Dropbox, all that. I'm having a hard copy. I'm putting it on my fucking phone, so I have it with me all the time. I'm putting it on the flash.
Oh my God!
Dropbox. Y'all ain't getting rid of this shit. Y'all not gonna like hide this. You owe us, motherfucker. Pay us what you owe. God damn it. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the last topic. I can't believe
we speaking of brands and fighting over status codes and whatever. Phil Spencer has made statements about the console war and how he feels it's bad practice in so many words. It's not exactly his words, but basically, and I guess people are upset. Right? They're upset?
Well, some people are upset
about this.
Yeah, well, of course, some fanboys kind of feel offended by it. I think the thing that probably offended people more that...
Wait, which fanboys are upset? Which fanboys are upset?
Well, I think all of them are.
Which fanboys are?
I would say everybody to me, because of course Xbox would be upset because no, you're
expecting the CEO of your company,
and it's like the other people are going to be upset. It's because he's only saying that because they're losing. That's not why. He don't really feel that way. He just cares he don't lose, And then of course the PC people. Yeah. I think the thing that would make Xbox people upset, probably like Xbox fanboys upset, would be this comment he said when he elaborated, where he says, I'm going to actually push against that. People sometimes will make fun of me that I mention Sony or I mention Nintendo. It's not to placate anybody or make them think I'm some kind of good guy. My job isn't really to keep you from buying something else. My job is to make you proud of what we offer and to give you an enjoyable experience with the product that we have. And I think that's the thing that keeps people. Huh? But see, that says that, hey, I don't know what's the problem with what he said. Because a lot of people interpret that as...
I'm not here to validate your decision versus somebody else's. I'm here to make you happy with your decision. I'm not worried about what somebody else does, but if you bought an Xbox, I want you to be happy with that. Like,
okay, what's
people
wrong with
expect him to come out as the head of...
You put what he said in different words, and I understood both. But I'm still trying to figure out.
People are mad because you expect the head of a company, especially when it's a brand like that, to come out. You do not expect the head of Apple, the head of Microsoft, the head of Sony, Nintendo to come out and say, I have no problem with the competition. I'm not trying to stop you from buying the competition. Y'all should stop acting stupid and defending this brand like it's like you're a fucking warrior defending your honor. It is a piece of plastic. It is a product that you chose to buy. It is not as serious as you're trying to make it out to be. Just be
Yeah,
happy
it's
with what
like,
you bought.
okay, you're an Xbox owner. You love Xbox brand, right?
Right.
Modem. You're
I
like
love
really
my
big in
Xbox.
Xbox. You would say that you like you
Yeah, I
don't really
love
want to
mine.
fuck with anything else because that's just the brand that you choose, right? So when you talk to somebody like me who only owns
Give
a
or take.
PlayStation 4, yeah, but when you talk to me who only
Right.
owns a PlayStation 4, I don't get the feeling like you have an issue with me as a person for not having or liking what you have. And I think that's the problem
Right.
with a lot of fanboys is that they take it personal that you aren't championing the same thing that
Well,
they're having. And I think that's what he's bothered by. Phil Spencer's bothered by, which he should be bothered by. And it's those are the people who are bothered
Anybody
by
should be
what
bothered
he's.
by that.
But those are the people who are bothered by what he said because, like Prod said, he's basically not validating their feelings.
and that's what everybody
They feel
wants.
like he's supposed to be like, fuck Sony, fuck
I gave
Nintendo.
look.
You know,
Here's the thing. Modem. Imagine you gave somebody $400 for something, and you were looking for them to say that you were right to do that. You were right to give them $400, but they
Right,
wouldn't
right.
say it. They refused to say it. And
Right.
that's what the fanboys are mad about. He's not going to say you made the right choice. I'm like, we're happy that you made the choice that you made. That is his statement.
Right, right.
And
that's-
people are mad about that.
I mean,
like
it just
they
it
want to
just speaks
champion.
volumes on. Yeah, they want a champion. Like that shit is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like personally, and I'll say this to anybody, I love my fucking Xbox One. Like there's nothing that makes me want to switch to a different console or like I'm strictly going PC. I fucking love my Xbox One, and I would encourage anybody to get an Xbox One because it gives me a lot of enjoyment. But whatever you choose to play on is what you choose to play on. Like the reason why I'm going to get a gaming PC is so I can play with my niggas. That's what I want to do. Like I would get a PlayStation 4 if I had the money to just shell out, and it wasn't so much of a personal investment.
but no, a PC
As
would benefit
getting
you
a
more
gaming
beyond
laptop?
the gaming. Yeah, exactly.
Right, right. So I would get a PS4 if I had, like I said, the money to shell out. Because I got a bunch of people, of friends and shit that has a PS4 and all that shit. If I had the money to shell out and it wasn't such a personal investment, I would get that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And
Because,
see,
I mean, I started on a PlayStation.
like
And before PlayStation, I was on Nintendo.
Yeah, I think most of us. That's the funny thing that I found about the fanboy thing is I think that most of these people who engage in that stupidity probably at one point in time own like damn near everything. You know what I mean? They've dabbled in other things. Like
Yeah.
I had a Nintendo. I used to play on my friend's Sega. You know, I ended up going to PlayStation. I played on
The
Xbox.
low self-esteem
It's not
makes you
like
have to need validation in your purchase.
That's how I kind of feel how it is because it's just like you're fighting someone. Like when you were saying your whole reasons for getting a gaming PC over getting a PS4. Me as a PS4 guy, I guess I'm supposed to step up and say that's
No.
bullshit. Why would you want to play that? PCs don't got no exclusives. PlayStation got all the exclusives, better exclusive than your Xbox. I'm supposed to like do that and like that's not necessarily true.
Right.
That's like no. I mean. No, right? You know, it's like
I
no.
feel like in schools, there needs to be a class that's like life class that teaches you how to think rationally and not with your emotions.
I don't think people
Like just
will.
like,
Common
I
sense is
got this
not
guy
common.
upset.
they need life classes, you know.
Yeah, no, they do. I got this guy upset, and he's still fighting that point, and I just stopped talking because I was like, "Yeah, you're just dumb." Like we had got into a discussion about RG3. Well, RG3. His whole point was the reason the Redskins were losing was because of RG3.
Wait. RG3, I don't understand. What's
Football
RG3?
player. We were talking about Robert Griffin III. The
The
guy
Redskins
Okay.
quarterback that people love to argue failed versus
Yeah. So he was trying to make a point that the reason the Redskins sucked and lost was because of RG3's ego. And my point was, well, they're still sucking and losing, and that guy's inactive. So how are you trying to tell me his ego is the reason why? He's like, well, you got to see. I mean, it's true. Look at what happened. Look how things went down. It's like, well, the guy who's quarterback now for the Redskins, Kirk Cousins, His current career record is 3-10. He has the worst He has the worst interception turnover to touchdown ratio than anybody in the league. He commits more turnovers per snaps than any quarterback in the league since 2009. This guy was drafted in 2012. So,
oh wow. Wait, pause. Wait, what?
He has the worst turnover ratio. His turnover ratio is worse than anybody going back to the year 2009.
But he was drafted in 12?
Yes.
Meaning that
quarterbacks who've been in the league
there's not been one worse since 2000.
7 years have better stats than this guy who's only been in for 3. Has better ratio than
right. But how
he's that bad? He's that bad.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So basically, his shit is so fucked up. It dates back.
You have to go back to 2009 to find somebody who was worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so
fucked
up. And it's
like, and I'm like making this argument to the dude. It's like
I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Arguing the whole RG3 has an ego thing is irrelevant because at the end of the day, if someone has an ego, that's one thing. But we're all grown men and adults. I don't know anybody who works at a job and says I don't like somebody and refuses to do their job properly. Are you not going to do your job if you don't like somebody?
We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. I just was about to say something.
What?
I was like, well, you have.
Well, I'm definitely not about to fuck up my job.
Refusing to do their job.
I don't like somebody.
Because they don't like.
I can just imagine this dude is like looking at the strat dude, and they're like, "Well, let's look back a year to see if we can find a worse player." And he's just like, "Come on, 2014."
But my whole argument was just like, "Yo,
you got 2010 right now. Still can't find nobody."
Exactly.
But
like my whole argument is like you're trying to say that this guy's ego is the problem. It's like the Redskins have been losing for over 20 years. It's like for 20 years we've had the same issues and we've been failing. RG3 wasn't there for the whole time. So that's a lame excuse.
So this guy is trying to say that he's the reason we're not losing.
Yeah, and it's like he kept saying, "Well, it's true. It's been true. It's just like Bill Cosby. You know, they tried to say he didn't do that, and now it's true." I'm like, dude, that makes no sense.
What?
Because
I'll say this right now.
They're still underperforming. So what does his ego have to do with it? He's like, "Well, you're just mad because it's like you're not seeing the facts because it's been proven." And I'm like.
In what way?
What is your what?
Look, as a Giants fan, y'all lost time.
That's like
I want to make that point clear.
To say in an argument.
As a Giants fan,
I feel like that's the line, though. Oh
I do too. And I said this to him. I was like, "You're the true example of how media bullshit can make you think something is true." Because through this whole RG3 thing, the only Redskins players that I've ever heard speak about RG3 have said nothing but positive things about how he's a hard worker, how he comes there, he tries to learn, and everything. They've never had any personal problems with him. Those are the only people I've heard. The negative stuff about his ego and all of that, how he thinks he's better than everybody else, has all been rumors. It's all been like, well, reports have said that somebody in the locker room was saying to someone that RG3 is not liked by his teammates.
Sound like a hater went to snitch to get some time on the TV.
Yeah, it's like it's not like somebody's coming up like man to man and actually coming out and giving us definitive proof that this guy's attitude is why the Redskins suck. It's just people have said it, and it's just like you'll see clips where he'll say things and they'll edit it out and he'll be like, you know, I think I'm the best quarterback in the league. Nobody will say. Nobody will show the whole clip where he says, I think I'm the best quarterback in the league. I feel like I have to feel that way, but at the same time, I know reality is I have to prove it on the field. That is the exact quote that he said. But all you said was, and this dude is like preaching that shit, and I'm like, so you're the guy who believes everything that you read on the internet or here in media. You're the perfect example. And to go back to the Bill Cosby analogy is that, yeah, we didn't think Bill Cosby did it because before they actually came out with the court thing, all you had was rumors. Then finally somebody stepped up and said something. Okay, now it's starting to look a little worse. Now you have a court document. That proves it. But when it was just like, oh, the rumor has it that Bill Cosby did that, no, you don't buy into that shit. That's dumb.
But see, the thing about this is, Just switching gears real quick. Just wait. The thing about the Bill Cosby thing is, this shit is old. This shit is old as fuck.
Yeah, it's not
like
it's
why
not
it got
like
so much media attention now is beyond me. Just like the R. Kelly dating Aaliyah thing, that shit is old. How the fuck
I think it went better.
Like,
have you heard about the wrestler who just got arrested for murder?
No, who's that?
Jimmy Superfly Snooker is under indictment for murder of his girlfriend of over 20 years ago.
Wow.
They claim that he murdered her 20-something years ago. This is like back in the early 80s, I think it was, in fact, that it was one of his girlfriends had died, and it's like, okay, there was at one point somebody had a suspicion, but nobody ever knew, so they just squashed it. And now all of a sudden, now they're indicted. Exactly. It's like some shit like that. It's like, okay, it's pretty much this man's pretty much
lived his life. That's against the law.
You know, it's like he's lived his life. He's got away with it. It's like the Bill Cosby thing. Yeah, I do find that fucked up that he did it, but it's like at this point,
all right. So
Bill Cosby.
Here's my issue. Here's my issue with the Bill Cosby thing. I still haven't seen something that confirmed that he did it. Like, he has not been convicted of any crime. All you have is him saying he bought something for that use. Like,
well, no, the court document. Remember, they said that they had the affidavit that he paid off the girl to seal.
Yeah, see, the thing about the court document, it's like they could have been like, look, you agreed to plead guilty and this and that, no jail time. Like, it's a bunch of shit that could have went down to make him say that, but. Like he said, there's nothing definitive that's like out of his mouth. Like, I did it. But besides all of that shit, it's like arguments on both sides with this shit. But saying that, back to the Redskins thing, saying that this dude is like has an ego because of what the internet says. The internet can say whatever the fuck they want about anything, and there's people like to do it, and they'll believe it just because the internet that shit. Like, here's an article that says, you know, he had an ego, and well, there you go. Like, that's all proof I need. Like, how the fuck do you think that way? Like, it's like the internet says it's raining outside. You go outside. Well, shit, the internet is right sometimes. I don't know. Like, you just proved that it's not raining outside. How the fuck do you still think
it's like I was nice and I removed myself from the argument with you. I wanted to say, yeah, you really are a fucking idiot if this is your line of defense. Because he kept saying, I don't understand what you don't understand what I mean. I'm like, dude, I told you, and I actually told him, if you could give me some concrete proof where somebody actually has documented this, please let me know. And he couldn't do that. All he kept saying was, well, clearly it's been proven because it's been shown. I was like, where has it been shown? You haven't shown me anything. You told me what you said. You told me what you heard. You didn't show me anything like that was substantial. And it's just like, this is where I don't like talking to some people, because I wanted to say, you fucking have no common sense, do you? Because common sense to me would dictate that unless it was substantiated, why is that even the case? And furthermore, what does this have to do with the Redskins losing? He was the only quarterback in the last since Joe Gibbs retired the second time. Nobody took it to the playoffs. He took us to the playoffs in his first year. His ego must not have been that big, and maybe it got big. Maybe he's trying to say it got big afterwards, and that's why we're losing. But we were losing before that, and his ego wasn't around.
And also,
we're losing this year.
So his point is still invalid.
Exactly.
His point is still invalid.
Black, and people tend to also could possibly get something of an ego when literally an entire franchise they're heralded as the savior.
Okay, which is fine. Is that why we're losing?
No.
And that was my whole point. Why are you trying to say that he caused us to lose? This guy hasn't been around for most of his career. He's been injured most of his career. The guy who's starting now has started a bunch of games and lost a bunch of games. Kirk Cousins, before he beat the Rams, had a 7-8 game losing streak.
Yeah.
RG3 wasn't playing in those games, so
That's crazy.
Did his ego like transfer to Kirk Cousins, and like it made him lose?
Right.
Like,
His ego is so flaky.
this is why I
On the
like
shadow.
a lot of times I hate having discussions or arguments with people because they do that type of shit, and it's just like it's dumb. Or just like the Eagles fan that I made cry about the like whole idea of them having rings, because somebody I know posted a picture of a bunch of Super Bowl rings of the NFC East, all the teams in the division. Eagles don't have no Super Bowl rings.
Right.
They've never won a Super Bowl. So he jumps up. That picture is invalid because we have rings. And everybody's like, y'all don't have a Super Bowl ring. He's like, no, we have rings. Look it up. And I know a little bit. I look up history all the time. And I know that before the NFL was formed, when it was just the National Football Conference, the Eagles won like 2 or 3 championships back in the 50s for this conference before the NFL came up. And so I'm trying to like be nice and explain to you. It's like, dude, I understand what you're saying. You guys do have rings. But I think you're missing the point of the picture. The picture says number of Super Bowl rings. And since the Super Bowl era started, the Eagles don't have rings. And he's screaming like, no, you're wrong. That the Eagles have rings. I'm like, they don't have Super Bowl.
What?
Do you hear what I'm saying? This is a picture based on the Super Bowl era. It has nothing to do with any rings outside of the Super Bowl era. And he's just screaming back at me like, no, you're wrong. I'm like, okay, if you want to feel better, then we'll just say this. If we just talk about rings and not Super Bowl rings, then yes, the Eagles have rings. They don't have a Super Bowl ring, which is clearly is displayed in this picture, but they have rings. So hopefully now you can feel better. And he hits me back with, look, you don't need to do anything for me. I don't need you to that. You don't know how hard it is to be an Eagles fan every day and have to deal with what we have to deal with. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker's like fucking pouring his heart out to me now. Like, he's really in his feelings about this thing. I was like, I had to try my hardest not to laugh at him. This is like, you're so hyped to try to win an argument that you're not thinking straight. And I think that's like the same thing with this dude over the RG3 issue and with a lot of people when it comes to arguing or like having differences of opinion. It's one thing that we don't disagree. Like you don't have to agree with me. I'm fine with that. What I need you not to do is to not try to find a way to make me feel like I'm wrong, because it's I'm gonna feel the way I'm gonna feel. You're gonna feel the way you feel. I respect your opinion. Why can't you respect mine? Why do you have to go through this whole, song and dance of trying to, like, force your opinion on me? It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
To disagree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion and respecting someone else's opinion, or respecting that someone has a difference of opinion. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But people find, like, with these console wars, with these phone wars, like, with all this shit, people just can't, like, comprehend the aspect of, just respecting someone else's opinion. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, there's nothing else to do.
And that's why I commend Phil Spencer for saying it the way he said it. Because, like you said, I'm trying to convince you as to why you should buy my product. I'm not going to tell you what you shouldn't buy. I want you to buy my product. And the best way to do that is to tell you, yo, we have this, that. We offer, like, I mean, if you go back and look at the E3s since he's been in charge, he's done a wonderful job of preaching that message. He stayed to that message and has helped Microsoft tremendously, because he's helped them present themselves in a better way. You know what I mean? And he's brought stuff to the table that has actually made his platform more appealing to people who may not have won it. He's preaching. He's not only just saying this, but he's sticking to what he's preaching, and he's done an amazing job for Microsoft. And I wish more people would like have his attitude, because we need more people like him in gaming. I think he's an awesome dude. Like, he may have that like look on his face. Like
It's
I
also,
find it funny. He has that look on his face. Like is it just me? Does Phil Spencer had that look on his face like he's cocky, but he doesn't have the personality. I bet you he gets mistaken for that a lot. And it's so true because he's a cool person.
He's very confident. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. I feel like he's like people like you and me who's confident in what they're doing, and like people don't like that he's so confident. But like even some of the people before him didn't necessarily take shots at other people to try and make themselves look better. They just tried to preach about their product or whatever. Mind you, what Phil Spencer has over them is actually delivering on the product. They didn't deliver. They also didn't take shots at
Well, I think
the other
another thing
companies
is
like,
that
oh,
he's
we
not
got this
just
over them and so on and so forth.
I think another thing is he's not just a businessman. He actually does care about the product beyond trying to make money. I don't think Don Matrick was a good fit. He was more of a business guy. He wasn't just about
someone
the
else,
business
too.
of gaming. You know what I mean? And some of the other people they weren't necessarily.
It was
Which one?
It was two heads before Phil Spencer. I forget
Right.
the other dude name, but it was the first dude in 2013, and there was another guy. No, it was the first dude in 2012 when they were talking about releasing the Xbox One,
Mm-hmm.
and he got fired. Then they replaced him with the dude for 2013. Then he got fired, and then Phil Spencer came in like late 2013 or something like that, like 2014 or whatever. But it's been two heads before him, so really he's shouldering like the mistakes of two people, 2 years worth of shit. But it definitely just wasn't one person making those mistakes.
Yeah,
But
no.
like I said, he's not taking shots, but he's also delivering on what he's preaching. Like with the people shouldn't be like arguing or fighting over a piece of plastic and so on and so forth. And I think, like I said, I can't find anything wrong with what he said, especially after his statement was so in general versus specifically saying these type of people, blah, 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 are stupid. He didn't even insult anybody. So I feel like it's people's translations of what he said that has people in uproar. Like you were saying to me, like, basically he was saying it's stupid to do this and that, and I was like, he's not necessarily saying that, but it's another word for it or whatever. But basically he was like, it's like bad practice, and that's acceptable. But I feel like he was basically saying he, like you said, doesn't tell you why you shouldn't buy that product, but he tells you why you should buy his product, and that's a great business practice for one, and two, that just speaks volumes on his own character. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's just how I took it.
It's a very perfect
So I
way
don't
to
understand
do
the
business.
uproar.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're that,
I really don't understand the uproar. It's like no one insulted you, and necessarily he didn't say that you shouldn't have these console wars or whatever, but he just said he didn't like that the console wars are going on, and that it wasn't his job to make you feel like you should have these console wars. He just want to make you proud of being an Xbox owner. Like, what is wrong with that? He didn't say you shouldn't do it. He just said, like, he's not advocating it. He's not joining in on it. Like, what's wrong with that? It don't make sense.
And he shouldn't. I mean, he shouldn't. You don't pick fights. There's no reason to pick fights.
Not only that, but there's no reason.
Like, the fight that he has is the fight that he should be fighting, and the way he should be fighting it is that I'm trying to make you think my product's better. And it's funny because I go back.
Maybe not so much better, but at least appetizing. Like you want my product. That's my job, to make you want my product. Not necessarily to say that it's better, but for you to say that you want my product.
Yeah, it's more.
There's competition, but it's like the only reason he acknowledges competition is to congratulate them. Like, I've never seen him acknowledge them like, oh yeah, they're a threat, and we're trying to see how we're gonna take the sales this week. Like, he doesn't ever say no shit like that.
Yeah, and I mean,
He
there's
just
nothing wrong with him
congratulates them
saying
when they do well.
And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with him saying I think our product is better either. It's just like
Yeah, it definitely.
the way you go about it. It's just like how you talked about your feelings about the iPhone versus the Android. You felt that it was better because of the experience that you had and the different things like that. You didn't necessarily get to go, fuck Android, all Androids suck, they're just horrible, they're bad, iPhone for life. You didn't. A lot of times when people make the Android argument, it's like shit like that, and they stick to like that one trend. Again, going back to Mr. RG3, they go that they just have that tunnel vision. They don't move off of that point because they don't want to acknowledge that, hey, maybe what you're saying might have a point to it. Maybe there are some aspects that may be out there that are the reason why this happened. It's just like I've always acknowledged that Xbox Live is the superior online experience. Microsoft does a tremendous job with how they handle the maintenance and everything of Xbox Live. PlayStation, they have not done a great job over there at Sony with the online. We are now paying for it because Plus is a requirement to be online. And it's still having issues. It's better. I can't say that it's not better because it is better than what it was on PS3. That's just something you can't do. But the way that they handle things is they don't do it probably. Like my biggest issue with them is mostly maintenance because they schedule their maintenance at the weirdest time. I'm wondering if it's a Japan thing or not, but it's like a lot of times they schedule their maintenance between 2 and 4, 10 a.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Usually somewhere in that time slot, there's usually their maintenance, and it's like I understand a lot of people work those hours, but considering other time zones and things like that, you would probably want to push it to a different spot. And that's why I say maybe it's a Japan thing, even though I don't think it should be because it's not like it's the lead platform in Japan. I feel like they could do their stuff like the perfect time for I would think would be
the lowest peak hours. Or
I would say study your peak hours across the board and see where your biggest spikes are, and then make a decision there. Like I would say probably.
I also wouldn't do it around game releases either.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly say their best bet would be to do it, say, 4 a.m. Eastern, and then maybe 8 a.m. Eastern.
I wouldn't do that.
The reason I say that is because
would be like 1 to 5.
Yeah, that's 1 year time. Yeah, that's 1 to 5 year time.
If it's like 8 p.m. to like Eastern time, that would be better. Because I know for me,
I don't think doing it in the PM would be wrong. I think that would be wrong.
Doing it in the PM?
Like you said, 8 p.m.
No, not going into PM, but like 8 a.m. to like 12 p.m. around then. Because then around 12 p.m. is when like some people are starting to get off work or coming home or whatever. But most people are like just waking up.
How about 6
stuff like that?
How about 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.?
I am back.
Okay. Well, how about 6 a.m. to 10? Because that'll be 3 a.m. your time. And that's still 7 because I feel like that's the sweet spot. Like
time
on the
everybody's
East Coast,
getting off.
On the East Coast, that's the time where people are heading out. You're leaving the house between that time. You're getting ready to leave.
Right.
And your side of things, you guys are heading to bed, or if you're somebody who stays up late, or you're already asleep, or you're just about to get up once it comes back live. You know what I mean? I think that would be a happy medium right there, because they schedule it when people are awake and are wanting to game. It is like, do you not realize?
Exactly, which is horrible.
And they do it like, so they don't have a real legit schedule. It's just randomly. It's like, there's some things about PSA. It's just like, come on, y'all could do things a little bit better. But I mean, I could say that having a PS4 and not like feel bad about saying that because it's just honesty. I'm being honest with myself.
Yeah, or feel bad that I bring it up or something like that.
I think that's one thing about fanboys.
But it also deals with like people not like teasing someone else, like oh ha ha ha, and it's still fucked up. Like I think that's a part of it too. But you are a PS4 owner. I don't have to like shit on your shortcomings. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm missing the fault in what Phil Spencer has said, because he didn't necessarily say, like I said, you can't do it. He just isn't going to partake in it. I don't see what's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really weird.
I honestly wish he did say that you can't or you shouldn't do it, because I think people need to realize that hey, it's not at the end of the day, where is it going to lead you? Like I've always said this about the like whole console war thing, is that me stomping the yard for PlayStation gets me what? Sony's not paying me to do this. I'm not getting any benefit other than that validation of my choice.
Right.
And why do I need to have my choice validated? I bought this because I wanted to buy it, or am I buying it because I need something to help me validate a choice? It's like, why are you doing this if this is the way you're going? How I look at it, because I don't need to argue with you over Xbox or PS4. I made my choice, and if I'm happy with the choice, cool. If I'm not, then so be it.
But I mean, it also like people like us wouldn't. It's not like we're discriminating against, you know what I'm saying, either console or product, because you know, like you said it yourself. You will buy an Xbox One if there was something to motivate you to buy an Xbox One.
Yeah.
And it's like the same for me on PS4. It's just like there's nothing really there besides maybe Last of Us 2. That's really like, I gotta have a PS4 for that. There's really no games over there that's like I gotta have it. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, I don't understand what's so wrong about it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the way of the world that we live in, I guess. I don't know. But Prod, did you have anything else to add to this?
No.
Very insightful, sir. I appreciate your candor.
Yeah, I can say that for whenever we're finishing up.
What was that?
Oh, are we finishing up now?
Yeah, I think we're about to wrap this up.
All right, just a reminder, 2019, Apple Car Mini. I'm telling y'all, it's coming.
Apple Car Mini. Nah, bro.
iCar Mini.
I don't think so. I seriously hope not, but I definitely don't think so.
Oh shit! And what if they use the Apple? What if they use the iPhone's color scheme to it? Oh my god, that's great.
Okay, let's.
Yo.
and then the next year, it comes out in colors. You're gonna get the colors the next year. Like, hey, we had the white. Now you get the
right. The Apple iCar Mini, and then it's like next year it's the Apple iCar Mini C for mini color. Like, yo, it's gonna be hilarious. Then they're gonna come out with the Apple iCar S. It's faster and more fuel efficient. Like, I'm done. Fucking done.
Alright, I think that wraps this up for the evening. Oh, Modem, thank you for coming through. Brian, thank you for coming through.
No problem.
Modem, go ahead and say your farewells to the people and promote anything you have to promote for your channel, by the way.
Man, as far as the channel goes, just come check it out. I got a lot of videos that's like about to line up. I'm about to release. It's gonna be like hilarious. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for it too, but whatever backlash I get, it's gonna be like kind of funny. But yeah, just check out all the videos. I've been slacking as of late, but now I'm getting back on my grind. No spaces besides my Twitch. That's like _flying_modem. I don't know why I did that, but everything's flying modem.
I'm gonna make sure to put all your stuff in the description.
Oh, wait, last thing. Blame Prod if we have the Apple apocalypse. It's Prod's fault. He jinxed it.
No,
If it happens, it's Prod's fault.
No, we've worked this out. Apple's gonna cut us a check, so
Exactly.
it's cool.
Well, we're going to be fine, but everybody else is going to be fucked.
Well, yeah, y'all are gonna be fucked because y'all gonna be like looking. Y'all gonna be like, oh my god, I can't charge my car. It has a proprietary charger to it.
Yeah, you got to go to the Apple store and buy like $1,000 adapter for a
Bro,
wall.
they're going to have the sun.
They're gonna have gas stations for
solar panel. No, they're going to have the solar panel portable chargers. You just
right.
sun, heat that joint up, and then charge your car on the go.
Exactly.
Let me start giving them ideas.
All right, Prod, go ahead and say your farewell and promote whatever you got.
All I really got to say is follow me over on Twitter at X11Prodigy. I got a lot of things in the pipeline, a lot of things that are going to be changing here soon. That will be the easiest and most efficient way to find all my stuff. As of right now.
All right, and of course y'all know where to find me. Whatever. And it's follow these two gentlemen, please. Check them out. They're also on Twitch as well. Neither one of them mentioned it, but they do live stream as well. So check them out on Twitch, as well as YouTube and on Twitter. And that's about it for the show. So, gentlemen, again, thank you for coming through. Everybody, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll be able to be on time next week and do it again. Hopefully nothing will come up and mess it up, because I really enjoy having these discussions with these gentlemen, and I really enjoy doing this show. So hopefully we'll see you guys next week. All right, everybody, have a good evening. Peace.
Peace.